Okay, so let's start out with a linear equation as being an example of a polynomial, right? A linear, the standard form would, as a function, is solve for y equals mx plus b. Right? What we know is if the m is greater than 0, the slope is greater than 0, then it goes up as you look at from left to right. If the m is less than 0, then you expect the graph goes down from left to right. Okay. The quadratic, y equals ax squared plus bx plus c, which we've already seen, right? That leading coefficient of a tells you whether or not the parabola opens up or down. If a is greater than 0, it opens up. If a is less than 0, it opens down. Okay, the cubic function, and each time we always start with the coefficient of a on the highest degree term, and then we just use up all the letters till we get to the end. So ax to the third plus bx squared plus cx plus d. Okay, now if a is greater than 0, and this was actually one of our common functions, right? We knew that if we saw y equals x to the third, then it had a graph that looked something like this, right? It started in negative territory. It could have had 2 turns in it and ended up in positive territory, right? If it was in this shape, we would have said that it was flipped across the x-axis. So it was the leading number was a negative. That's what caused it to go from high to low. Right? If the quartic is 4th degree, highest degree term is ax to the 4th, and you can see its graph, right? It either starts high and ends high, or it starts low and ends low. Kind of like a parabola, right? A parabola, right? If it starts high, it ends high. If it starts low, it ends low. And that's the pattern that we see with these terms, right? If the degree is odd, like this, mx to the first or ax to the third, then we would expect it to start low and end high, or start high and end low. That's exactly what these are doing. Right? If its degree is even, like 2 or 4, then we would expect that it either starts high and ends high, or starts low and ends low. Now, the other thing to notice about it is that how many turns do we expect in the graph of a quadratic? 1, right? It's just a U, right? So it only turns once, right? A cubic turns twice. A quartic turns 3 times. So the general rule, which we'll see in a couple slides, is it can have as many turns as 1 less than the degree. Notice even on the linear, right? Linear is 1st degree. So how many turns can it have? 0. 1 less than the degree. So it's always a straight line. There's never any turns in a straight line.